Sorry. Okay. So this game is this game's called temporarily Dice Fighters because it'll be something else later. But yeah, its code name for right now is just going to be Dice Fighters, and it functions off of, oops, there we go, these dice right here, which are, you have white, then you have yellow, then you have red, then you have blue, so they're tiered dice, and they, the first pair, or the first set here, white, is the one that you always use, and that has 6 different sides on it. Then when you go down to yellow, the yellow dice share 3 sides from white, and then it has 3 new sides. Then when you go down here, those 3 new sides that were on the yellow are now on the red, and then this has 3 new sides. And then once you go to blue, this has a little bit of the same. It has 2 of the same ones that are on white, 3 of the same ones that are on red, and then 1 extra one that makes it very powerful. So these are the main mechanic, and I'm probably gonna go through and show you guys in Tabletop Simulator. So I'm just going to take some time to model out the dice, and let's see, Dice Fighters for right now. Let's do Maya files. Go in here, and we'll call this die. We'll have to make some tokens too, but I think I already have some of those saved. You just literally inspired me for a game, or at least remind me of one that I would like to see as a board game. Oh, very nice. Well, make it, man. Do it. As you can see back here, if I just minimize this, we've got the player card, we've got the fighting board, we've got each of the sides of the dice, and there are other sides as well, other colored dice. So those will be the images on there. Then you have, there are going to be multiple story tiles like this one right here, where you start on a spot, and when you start, you get a certain buff, and then as you go through, you fight one monster, maybe 2 monsters. But if you go down a red path, you have to do something. If you go down a green path, something happens. If you complete a fight in here, you get to draw 2 loot cards. Complete a fight here, you get to draw 1 loot card, because this is actually not a very difficult area. And then, so you can essentially get to any one of these 3 exits, which will do different things. But then you'll have another card just like this, format-wise. Like, it won't be exactly the same. But then you'll put that over here as your second card, so, you know, it'll go here like this. And that card will have a different starting buff and a different ending buff, and a different fight layout, different loot layout and everything. So, you'll see that this is the only one I've designed for right now, but I just need to have one working thing for playtesting purposes. Is this like from the old Wizards dice? No. This is going to be a board game. This is going to be a board game. We've got player tokens. We've got wall tiles, which are these things that go around here. We've got formation tile, so you can choose your formation before a fight, so you can be a little surprised. You have to, I might make several formation ones that you actually have to choose from, collect and equip and stuff like that in order to make the best decision. Then we've got the bad guy card down here, which I'm still working on. And then, so there's a lot of stuff that I did all this today. This is all designed over the last 3 days, but I just decided to put it all down into here, and I'll explain the mechanics as we go along tonight. But for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and make these dice here. So if I do, where is it? What the heck? Where's my... Oh, UV snapshot. I don't know why it's in subdivs. Doesn't make sense. Really doesn't make sense. Cut UV edges, layout, and stuff. I don't know why it's in subdivs. But UV snapshot layout, then we'll go here, desktop, board games. Just going to do a bit of organization while I go. Maya, we'll do UVs here. So from tool settings, white, we'll do dice white, UV. And then we'll do a, yeah, 512 will work just fine. We're going to change this to a JPEG though. And that should be good. Oh wait, the value I think needs to go to white if I'm not mistaken. Color value will be white. Click OK. Wait a second. Let me go check that real quick to see if that took the screen cap. Dice Fighters, Maya, no it did not. Okay. I'm going to minimize that for right now. And I think I have to actually put it here. .jpg. And okay. Why is it? I'm a little confused. I've done this before. Done it just like this. Do I have to export? No, I usually do it right through here. I'm really confused why this is not working. Dota hype? Yeah, the change for the Dota hype. You liking that change? Let's see if that did it. No, of course not. Yeah, patch notes. A lot of people are really excited about it. Shadam was talking my ear off about it. Personally, I don't care. I'm really confused. UV snapshot should be how you do this. Oh, do I have to do it here? Oh, it's in the wrong spot. I was going to the wrong fucking menu. Wait, why is it in subdivs as well? That doesn't make much sense. Desktop board game, Dice Fighters, Maya, Dice, White, UV, and OK. You should work. Not sure. I mean, I suppose I could do it a different way. It's not loading. I could do this here. Where's the grid? Turn the grid off. There we go. Oh, I can't turn the grid off, actually. I have to get the whole thing here. Alright, let's try this. swear to God, copy doesn't work in here very well. Let's do crop here. Let's do that, and let's make a new layer here, and we will put all of the dice in here. So we'll take this one, just put them out on the side real quick. Alright, let's do this first. Let's go like this. Delete. Should be fine. And miss. Alright. Put these here. Alright. Because we're going to end up filling this whole thing with white anyway, so it won't matter. What's up? Seems more like a bunch of changes to stretch the game longer. Seems that way. Watch your movie with your doppelganger today. It was really good. Which doppelganger? I have many. Alright, real simple here. Alright, so then we'll take this. Actually, let's leave this in here for now. We'll just turn it off. There we go. So this should work. Let's save this as... let's do images. And we'll do white. I'll do dice, white. Make it a JPEG. That's fine. Alright, cool. So now I can turn all these back on. So now I have the white dice, which is really all I'll be working on. Adrian Brody obviously watched Grand Budapest Hotel with by Wes Anderson. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. Alright, so I'm going to keep 3 of them. I'm going to keep block, kick, and punch. Block, kick, and punch. But I'm going to take fake. I'll take, oops, gotta go over here. Knee. And elbow. Alright. So then... Well, first of all, I suppose we should make groups here. Let's do white. And we'll put all the white ones in here. And then we will duplicate. And we'll do yellow. Drop these guys in here. This one will go in white. New layer. Go into here. Fill it with yellow, that hideous, hideous yellow. What's this? What's up, MOBA? How you doing, buddy? This is a board game that I've been working on for the past 3 days. kind of getting it all together-ish. But right now I'm UVing some dice. So I modeled some dice. I'm going to put it into, what do you call it? Tabletop Simulator. If you haven't seen what Tabletop Simulator is, you should check that out. If you like board games, I guess. It's more for board game people. Okay, so I need to take... this and this out. I need to take that out. Just do that there. Oh shit, really? Okay, well, looks like we gotta fix that. Funny. There we go. Huh. Moba, what are you up to, man? How you been? Alright, so, oh, I suppose I should probably fill. Let's get yellow. We're going to get rid of miss, block, and star. Keep jump, kick, and punch. So take these three, delete those. And fix up jump and fix up punch. There we go. And then we'll put this thing back on here. Turn that off for a second. So we can position these three. There we go. Unwinding, been busy. It's kind of the best way to be, isn't it? I haven't been busy, but I've been keeping busy, if that makes any sense. God damn it. There we go. This one can be saved as JPEG, dice, yellow. Need to be more busy. I need to keep myself busy. So I would have been going over some of the games that I've been working on earlier, but this is the new one. As soon as I finish this image right here, I'll give you guys a quick run through of how the game is played, and maybe you guys can get a sense for what it is. It's all up here, and I've got to make it visible. It's got to be more visible than it is now. Okay, so yellow. Let's go ahead and save this as a PSD. We'll do dice UVs. Save that as. There we go. Okay, and then I'm gonna actually need one more. Let me just do this because this won't take too long. Oh no, I need two more. Never mind. It'll take me a little longer than I think. Okay, so first thing is you are a character. There are 4 sets of these dice right here. These dice are going to be specific to a melee character, a melee support character, a ranged character, and a ranged support character. So, yeah. So essentially what happens is these will be really generic words like you've seen: punch, kick, jump, stuff like that. but the abilities themselves will have a specific name and they'll have an actual effect, as you can see right here. Punch Punch is called Dual Shock for this character specifically, and it's 2 damage and Stagger. Stagger is knocking somebody. No, there's a tank. No, there's a tank. There's like I said, a melee support, which is going to be a tank. They could heal. Then there's going to be a ranged, and then a ranged support, which is, could be a heal as well. So yeah, that's all in there, I promise. But this right here is specifically for a melee class, not melee tank, or melee support rather. So this right here is, it's versatile because I'm using very simple words here to describe things that I can just say like, oh well, for this guy is a monk, for example, and he does like a dual shock, 2 punches like that, and so it does 2 damage and it staggers him backwards a little bit. And then he can do a flurry of punches, etc. He's going to be fairly fast, but there's going to be a lot more flexibility with using these generic terms so that I can actually make 2 melee attackers and 2 melee tanks with different dice, I can make 2 different characters with the same set of dice that are both melee oriented, and they use punch, kick, jump, block, elbow, knee, fake, roll, crouch, spin. Those are all of the attacks, all of the words on here. So you can design like a rogue, you can design a monk, etc. You can design different types of characters off the same dice, which is what I'm going for. So what made me think of this is you guys have all played Street Fighter and stuff like that, Mortal Kombat, and so you often have like combos that you have to try to do, like down and then rocket forward and then punch, right, or punch, and you'll do like the uppercut thing and in Mortal Kombat and whatnot. And so that's kind of what got me to thinking about this. So what you do is you roll a set of 9 dice, your white ones originally, and when you roll them, you get to kind of form combinations. And this will be a player card that you have physically in front of you. And what you do, zoom in once, what you do is you put your die right down on top of here, and then you put your other die over here, symbolizing the fact that you've used your dice to commit to dual shock. You can only do dual shock 1 time. And then, let's say I had a third one, I could do flurry. If I wanted to, I could, if I had 3, or if I had 4 punches or something, I could do a dual shock, and if I had a jump, torpedo. So, yes, half circle back, plus punch 3 times. There you go. So it's stuff like that. This is like a Street Fighter system in dice, is my idea. And this is just the white ones. So these are all the combinations that you can just do with the white ones. I want to do, I think, 10. What did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I want to do 10 with white. Then I'm going to do 10 with yellow, 10 with red, 10 with blue. Except not solo blue, not solo red and stuff like that. Essentially, since I have, for example, I have crouch kick, crouch spin kick would be a sweep, and a sweep would immobilize somebody for 1 turn. So you'd have to roll a crouch, a sweep, and a kick, and see it and decide I want to do a sweep. So crouch, spin, kick. There's your sweep. You could do roll kick, and yeah, I guess it would be jump roll kick. Would be a diving roll kick, which would be like a ground slam with your out of a roll. So like you axe kick, you rolling axe kick somebody. You can do jump double kick, which is essentially a drop kick, which we have right here. Flying, let's see, yeah, drop kick, jump double kick. It's 4 damage to them. It's a gap closer. It actually moves you closer to them, but you take 2 damage because you fall on the ground. But 4 damage is a good chunk. So 4 damage for punch, but there's no gap closer here. So this is a gap closer plus 4 damage, so you're going to take a little damage in the process yourself. So those are some of the ideas with just these. I haven't made the other dice yet, but I want to play test the system first. So what we have here is we have the character name, the class that they're in. So this guy would be, he would probably be monk. He has 10 HP, and you just keep track of it with markers. And then you have, his speed is 2 plus RG. So what I have here is I have a stack of papers that Like, I'm not even kidding. I'll just tilt my camera down so you can see. This is what I've been, like, toiling over, actually just writing it down. It kind of helps me to write it down the first time. You can see that I've got a lot of, you know, hand-sized pieces of papers here that I've been going through. And one of the things that I'm doing is, I'll go to full cam real quick so you can see. This guy right here, it's super messy, but this is just what I do. So I was trying to think of priority in the form of dice. Well, if you as you can see, if I go back here, this guy right here his speed is 2 plus a red and a green, a red die and a green die. And so the if I go back to cam here, I can show you. So essentially, you will have a green die which has more bonuses and less speed, and then a red die which has more aggro, but a little bit of, like, you could take some damage yourself. So green, if you roll, like, there are 6 sides of the die, right? So on the first side, you've got 1 dot. So that's 1 dot of speed. So that counts as 1. So if this character is a 2 and he rolls a 1, he's a 3. If you go here, you get plus 1 defense. This is, the third side of the die will be 2 speed. Fourth side of the die will be you gain an HP back, or you gain like a reserve HP kind of thing. And then 5 would be 1 speed, and a 6 would be plus 1 on your damage for this whole round. So you roll your speed at the very beginning of a fight, and then if you have the red die, it's 1 speed, 2 speed, 3 speed, 2 speed, 1 speed, and then minus 3 defense. So I'm thinking about taking out this other 1 speed, so there's only a chance of 1 speed. And so for this one, it would be like minus 2 attack or something like that. Maybe take damage, I'm not sure. But essentially, you have the option of having 5 different speeds. Let me see, it's right down here. So you can be a green speed, which is just 1 green die, which, you know, you can see up there. The max speed that you'll gain is plus 2. You can have green, which the max speed would be plus 4. You can have just a red, which the max speed is 3. So it's slightly slower than this. So it's really green, red, green, but red still has the option of getting some, you know, I guess red is better than green. No, I'm sorry, green is better than red, yeah. And then you have green-red, and then you have red-red. And it all depends on what you're trying to go for with your character. But each character will have a different form of speed. So this guy right here is 2 plus red-green. So if I roll a 6-sided die, I'm just going to roll it real quick. So that's the green die. I rolled a 3. I would get an extra 2 speed. So far, he's 2 plus 2 for green, which is 4 speed. And then we have a 5 for the red die, which is another 1 speed. So he's going to be a total of 5 speed. And that's gonna determine priority in the match, which order you get to go in. So there's that. That's kind of important there. As you can see, I have just like, this is the madman, like this is the ravings of a madman here. I'll go back to full cam. These are some of the other. This was the original sketches for all the different tiles. You can see it's divided into 9 spots. It's just 9 different pieces. So essentially, you have a modular board. So like if this is one board and you make it all the way through it, then all of a sudden you're attached to this one. Then you're attached to a new one over here, and then a new one over here. So you can choose how big your missions are going to be. But blue-green is better than red-red, and blue-yellow is, of course, superior to yellow-yellow, but not on Tuesdays when the moon is half full or the grass is green, yellow in front of your house. That's true. That's all very true. But essentially, so you can have a modular system with this board setup. So this is your dungeon. These are your dungeon pieces. If I go back to the game dev real quick, this is what I was talking about right here. This is your dungeon. But this is only one room or one path in the dungeon. And as it says up here, story text describing this tile, explaining the environment and the goal of this tile. Could be to escort an NPC, could be to collect a weapon, could be to clear the area out completely, could be to stay until you've trained X dice. So yeah, initiative rolls, in other words, exactly, Jumpy. Or, you know, priority. Turn priority, but initiative, yeah, essentially. So with that right there, with all of the different possibilities, I could have 20 different tiles. I could release expansions and stuff like that. And what happens is you start here. Like, let's say you just pick one of these spots right here. And you pick, I'm going to start with the +1 damage spot. And so if you start with the +1 damage spot, all of your damage is going to be increased by 1. Everything you do, because you started there. So you put a little chit saying, hey, I started here. And then as you go to here, into your first fight, it's 2, which means you're going to flip over 2 monster cards. And the monster cards are all going to be, you're going to have a stack of like, 40 monster cards, or maybe it's like 2 and it'll tell you what types of monsters. It'll be like mechanoids, or it'll be plant creatures, or it'll be beasts, and so you flip 2 from that, and it might be 1 and 1, etc., etc. So that'll be like how you decide your randomized fighting. So this is all the board game has its own AI essentially. Those tiles are a nice idea. Are those story static, or would you have a pool of move tiles and a pool of story tiles so that each game, even the same time, might have a different goal? I think I'm not going to do that. I thought about it, but the reason why I didn't want to start matching up tiles to stories is because I wanted to design the tile layout specifically to a story. If I have to clear every room, I want it to be a hard tile. I don't want it to be an easy tile. If I have to maybe go to X location and turn off a gas pipe, and if you do, you don't have to fight in. It closes off some sides and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be more specific. But anyway, so once you win a fight in one of these, this area, notice that this is tinted blue. What that means is you're going to draw 2 loot cards. So the monsters themselves. Yeah, more polish and control. Exactly. Oh, control over expansions. That's the true part of it right there. Plus, you can mod this stuff to be whatever you want. Like, this could be warriors. This could be double dragon. This could be, any fighting. Anything that's fighting. It could be Battletoads. Like, it doesn't matter. Okay, so right here, the loot is not tied directly to the creatures that you fight, the bad guys that you fight. I'll just call them enemies. I love saying bad guys, but we'll call them enemies. So if you win a fight in this area, you will receive 2 loot, because it's more tied to the rooms that you're in than it is to the creatures or the enemies that you're fighting. And once you get here, now it's only 1 loot, and then once you get here, it's 3 loot. So it goes 2, 1, 3, but another room might be 3, 2, 1. It might be 2, 2, 2. Might be 1, 1, 1, 3. It all depend on how I lay out the tiles specifically, or how I lay out the what do you call them? The encounters. These are all going to be encounters, essentially. So there are a few different things that are happening here. As you progress forward, well, first, where you start, you get a buff. As you progress forward, you're going to gain different types of loot, and then also you have to choose your path. So let's say I go here to 2, and then I decide that I want to go to 1, and I want to get the fuck out of Dodge and just heal 2 HP. Notice you only went a 2 monster path, and I'm healing 2 HP. Now, since I exit here, on my next tile, I'll start in the top, on the top one instead of the middle one or the bottom one. So you can kind of choose, like, oh, I want to go out the 5 HP side, but what that's going to take, you're going to have to go to 1, and then you're going to have to go to 1 over here, then you're going to have to go to 2 here, or you could have gone from 1 here to 3. But essentially, the paths are as hard or as easy as you make them, with a little bit of control on my side, too. So what you can see here are these colored paths here. Shortest path out of here would be 1, 2, and out. But I could go 1, 2, 3 and out. I can't go 1, 2. Actually, I can't retrace my steps. I think that's what I want to do. Roguelike board game genre, Munchkin-esque. Yeah, in a way, but it's a little bit more involved. Actually, I'd say it's a hell of a lot more involved. This is not an easy game. There's a lot of pieces. But I think it's all fairly straightforward, is the thing. Okay, so basically, like, I could go 2, 1, 1, 3, 2, and out here for, like, the longest fight possible. I could do something like, I can't cross back over spots, so I can't go 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. I'd have to exit at that point. So that's really important. And the thing is, you're going to be moving as a party, so you're all going to decide what you're going to be doing. This is co-op, or it's even solo player. You can play this solo if you really wanted to. And so the red, what this means is that you're going to unlearn one of the highest dies that you've earned. And remember, so these are the tiers. You have white is your basic tier that you'll get automatically. Then you have yellow, then you have red, then you have blue. So let's say you've cleared all of the whites and you've gotten like 3 yellows, and you want to go down, and I'll explain how to get those later, and you want to go down a red path. Well, you're going to have to get rid of one of your yellow dice. It's just how it's going to go. And if you go down a green path, you heal. You heal 2 HP. So you can actually heal quite a bit of HP, especially because you're going to be... I'm going to put those green paths going between areas where there are a large number of enemies for each encounter. So this is a 2 to a 3. So if you're going to travel from a 2 to a 3, first of all, what you've done is you've gone you've definitely gone through this one. You've definitely had at least one other fight, and then you're going to go to another 2, and then you're going to try to go to a 3, or you're going to go a 3 to a 2, and it just means that you fought a lot. So I'm going to kind of help people, give them incentives to go for the harder fights. It's like, you know, we're definitely going to get healed for this much. Let's just do that. The next thing you see is the exclamation point. The exclamation point is going to be what I'm going to call a weapon voucher. So there's going to be a whole weapons deck. And on top of these dice here, you're going to be able to draw the top weapon card and take a die. It'll be just a normal 6-sided die, and you'll have on the weapon card, you'll have, like, if you roll a 1, you do this effect. If you roll a 2, you do this effect. So for example, if you have a if you get a weapon voucher and you pull a weapon voucher and it's a crossbow, right? You'll have, like, a 1 is a single shot, 2 is a, you know, extra pulled shot, so it actually pierces and breaks through if they block. A 3 would be a double shot. 4 would be, you know, a bank shot or something like that. Hits them from behind, so they are stunned for a turn. You know, stun shot or something. So stuff like that. Maybe 4 is it can pierce 2 creatures. Maybe I won't use a 6-sided die, or what I'll do is I'll use a 6-sided die, but only make like 4 abilities on it. So there'll be like, you know, some weapons I'll be able to think of 6 things, and some weapons I'll only be able to think of, you know, 3 things. So I'll do a different 6-sided die, a 6-sided weapon die, but it'll only have 3 sides marked. And you know, I could always put a miss one on there as well, just a blank side, so it's like you're rolling, you're like, ah, fuck, my weapon didn't do anything this time. What I want them to do is I want them to add a little bit of bonus to what's going on here, and hopefully they'll be pretty strong, I think, and help you out. Anyway, so that's the weapon voucher idea. That's that idea. Oops, I just made that. There we go. So that's how the tile system is going to work. Then once you're in an encounter, you'll be in a fight like this. So let's go ahead and just copy this real quick. Let's rasterize and merge, and we'll take this and delete. All copy, paste. There we go. So I'll show you what it's like. There we go. Okay, so you'll have a bad guy and stuff like that, but you'll have this guy too. And what you'll do is you're going to choose a formation. I don't know if I want to choose a formation or if I want to earn formations. So for example, there'll be a formation card, and you'll have like a player token that's separate from your actual player that you're going to use. So you take a player token, and you, I think we can paste it in here too. Yep. So let's say I want, I get a card that says, you know, I can have, this can be my formation for a party of 3. This can be my formation for a party of 4. And it'll give me some sort of bonus. Weapon card, if monk, roll a die, do a number of backflips equal to the number of rolled. Yeah. impress your enemy so much that they just submit. So, like, this might be a stack of cards for formation cards, and this might be one of the formations. And you can put your characters in any one of these formations. But when you do, if you equip this formation card, you gain this bonus. So, for example, you might have like a oops. You might have like a pincer kind of layout like this. And this one will be like all attack, no defense. You might do a heavy defense. I think I can control. Yeah, there we go. You might have a heavy defense position like this, or actually rather, heavy defense position would be more like this, you know. And so maybe your whole party gets +1 defense for using this formation card. And so where this matters is you guys will have a formation card equipped, and then once you get into an encounter, you'll have to do a few things. First thing that you're going to do is you're gonna put your characters in the formation that you see. So, for example, I would have, you know, this one here, do 1 damage for each backflip. Yeah, that's kind of funny. All right, so let's say this is our formation, but we're only playing 2 players. So we get to choose, like, I'll have this say, like, the class or whatever, you know. I'm not sure. The formation cards I'm figuring out because I'm not sure how much of an add-on that should be, or if it should be core. I kind of like it, though. I think it's kind of fun. You choose your formation just like you do in RPGs, a lot of RPGs, and you try to figure out what's going to work best for you. You know, you put your tanks in front, but what if you put your what if you put your tank in back and bait an enemy forward and stuff like that? So anyway, so the next thing you're going to do is you're in a room. You're in a perfectly square room. Yeah, this is boring. Every fight's going to be exactly the same. But the reason why is just for, so it doesn't get out of hand, and the board game can have a form of AI for itself. I'm going to go ahead and paste one more and invert it. Excuse me, this is going to be my enemy token, just to kind of show you guys what I think. So you will roll for the enemy, which I have down here. You have the enemy, you have HP, let me pull this up here. Enemy, HP, speed, 3 plus GG. So you roll for this guy, and you'll mark down what his speed is. And I'm going to have a priority card as well, where you can put a token and then your bad guy tokens and whatnot, to kind of decide what order you want, and then a chip for whose turn it is to act, so you don't forget. I plan on this being a dungeon crawler, so as a dungeon crawler you may have to leave the game and come back to it eventually. So what you have first of all is the HP, the speed, the enemy name or whatever, but then he has targeting priorities. Since there are only 4 classes, he's going to choose his classes right here. He's going to choose a warrior. If there's a warrior first in his vicinity, or if he has access to a warrior, he will hit the warrior first. A mage second is the second highest priority, then the archer, then the tank class. This guy specifically doesn't care about the tank. So every creature will have their own orientation for who they want to attack first. Then he's going to have some traits. He might have nimble and persistent. So nimble means that, I'm writing this all down in a large glossary of terms, nimble means that he can't be rooted. So if you have an ability that would root a guy and he can't move on his next turn, he doesn't get rooted. He's immune to rooting. Then you have persistent. Persistent is being immune to stuns. So this guy is a total, he is just rage, I can't stop me kind of thing, So if you try to root him, you can't. If you try to stun him, you can't. Then you have block tokens. So he comes with a pool of 4 block tokens, and then he gains 1 if the damage dealt to him is more than 3. So basically a third of his life. And that's just this guy. I'm going to have other formats where some guy might have 8 block tokens, and he only gains 1 if he gets stunned. So you can choose to not stun him, and he won't keep getting block tokens. Okay, and then he has a block rule. He only uses them if something happens. So you either have to catch him off guard, which would be he's stunned, he can't use block tokens, or he's rooted, he can still block, but they're not as effective, or something to that in that vein. But in this case, he's only going to use them if the damage dealt to him is an even number. So a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Then he'll use a block token. So you're going to want to try to use abilities that are separated, for this guy specifically in 1, 3, 5, 7, etc. Then his abilities. So his abilities, each character is going to have 3 abilities, and then they're going to have squares that they're on. If they're on that square, that's what they use. So, for example, the order is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 right here. So you'll know which square you're in. So, for example, this guy's in 5, and what he's going to do here is he's going to use Smash. Because he's in location 5, he's going to do 1 damage to everybody. So if he ever goes to 5, and there's an AI movement, and I'll explain that in a little bit, but if he ever goes to 5, that's the attack he's going to use. If he's in, it crushes 1 damage and +1 for each block token remaining. So in other words, if he hasn't been using his block tokens, he's going to be stronger with his crush. So you might want him to use his block tokens as much as possible in order to reduce his crush damage, so he gets easier and easier, but he's always going to do at least 1 damage kind of thing. And he only uses crush if he's on 2, 4, 6, or 8, which are these diagonal ones right here. Do formations as an extra, and do formations for both enemies and the party at the same time. I don't want to do formations for the enemies. I like randomness for the enemies. I want them to feel like they have a mind of their own. I guess I could flip a formation card and they're there, but all I have to do is roll a 10-sided die, and if he's if it's a 3, he goes to 3. If he's 7, he goes to 7. If he's a 0 or a 9, he'll go to the middle. Or 0 or 5, he'll go to the middle, or something like that. Maybe a 0 is just roll again for him. But the 10-sided die comes into play again with movement. I'll explain that in a minute. So then he has shove. So if he's ever in any of the... Oops. There we go. So if he's ever in any of the corners, so 1, 3, 7, and 9, he'll do something called a shove, and the shove will be damage, move target one space in the direction that he's aiming. So you notice that I have these directional points on here, and so that'll be your aim, the direction that you're going. And also, it's just like if you rotate it, and you can see, if you can read it, P1 is this way. If you rotate it, you have to look at it sideways. He's going that way, always to the right. But anyway, so this guy, for example, if when a turn takes place, you roll a 10-sided die, and let's say I roll a... You know what? Fuck it. Let's just do it. That way I don't have to say let's say. Alright, so I'll take a 10-sided die, and I've rolled a 5. So this guy is going to rotate himself towards 5, and that's where he's going to be aiming. Now, if there's if he's trying to aim towards, there are two things that he can't aim towards when he's in this spot. He can't aim towards a 2, and he can't aim towards a 1. So if you roll a 2, a 1, or a 0, he stays in the orientation that he was before. You don't get to roll again, right? So, in other words, if I do a shove now, and I have this guy in here with him, maybe he's facing this way, and I shove him, he's going to move one space into 5 in the direction that I'm going. If it's really a super hit, shove 2, he might go all the way back. So that's how that'll work. So you might plan on walking into this area and then hitting him into this wall, and I'll explain what these tiles are around it in a second. But if he gets to go before you and he pushes you over here, now you have to take more actions on your next turn to get to him, back to him, which would be... your actions are... Okay, so you have 2 actions, and there are 4 things you can choose from. You get 2 actions. You can choose a direction, you can move, you can attack, and you can do nothing and save one of your actions for next turn. So basically, if I was this P1 right here and trying to get to this guy, my actions would be, first, I would choose a direction, right? And then I would move. But I wouldn't be able to attack. Those would be my 2. Or what I can do is I can choose a direction and wait. And do nothing. So choose a direction, do nothing. So now I have 1 extra action for next turn. So I'll have 3 actions on my next turn. Now, depending on if this guy has moved, I'm going to... I've already chosen my direction, so I'm going to move. Then I'm going to attack him. And then I'm going to maybe do nothing, so I have that 3rd attack for next round. Or maybe I'm going to choose a direction. Or maybe I'm going to move in that direction again. So you can basically choose to do things. Or maybe you can attack again. I haven't quite decided the combat system entirely yet, all the stipulations on it, but those things are definitely coming. Okay, so the reason why you have these things around here is the walls in every room are different. Wait, let me read this real quick. I'm assuming the story tiles rooms with a 3 on them have 3 enemies in them. Enemy formations don't have to be super special, but generally if you have formation bonuses for the player, you do need the enemies to be stronger or have something for balance. Well, yeah, I mean, enemies are always stronger. It's going to be hard, I promise you. Plus your attacks are based on randomness, and how much you can actually do is fairly random. It's a die roll. So you'd be surprised how easy I can make them, and they'd still be very difficult. I've already play-tested a bunch of that on the back end, but okay. So the reason these walls are here is when you enter into a room, before you place your guys, you're going to have these 9 tiles face down, and you're going to shuffle them up, and you're going to put them into each one of these locations. Then you're going to roll a 4-sided die, right? So you roll, where is my 4-sided die? There you go. You roll your 4-sided die, and I just rolled a 4. So what that's going to do is going to make sure that every 4 side of these, right, you can see they're labeled 1, 2, 3, 4. Every 4 side is going to face in. It's going to be the wall that's in. Right now I have all the 2s forward, so let's say I rolled a 2. Bam, rolled a 2. Then that means I'm going to get this guy in, this guy in, this guy in, and so now the walls of my room are composed of of different things. You're always going to have a door in every single one. The brown is the door. Door is where you can retreat. Some enemies might always aim towards a door and try to get out, and so you might have to kill them before they retreat. I might have some coward characters that they just retreat. So you could block a door, you can keep pushing them away from it if you have a shove and stuff like that. Simply to balance formations for the players and then do something for enemies at the same time. Enemy formations are done by rolling a 10-sided die, and they go wherever that 10-sided die is. So if I roll a 9, this guy goes here. If I roll a 5, he goes here. It's really easy. Enter the shrine of the silver monkey and make your way past the temple of the guard. Oh, temple guards, sorry. Yeah, the temple guards. Shrine of the silver monkey. What was that? That was, temple... Damn it, I forget the name of that. It was a Nickelodeon TV show. Okay, so, so these walls all do different things. So you're gonna have, all the silver are normal walls. Those are very basic. Brown is doors. Then you have yellow. So, like, for example, there's no yellow in the 2 setup, but there is in other ones. So in the 3s, you have 1. In the 4s, you have 1, 2, yeah, something like that. So anyway, electric will stun them, and they'll take 1 damage. So if you can push somebody, if you have a stagger, it doesn't work for a normal attack. You have to use a stagger. If you use a stagger and push them into a wall, they're going to get stunned for a turn and take 1 damage. If you push them into flame, or if you get pushed into flame, same thing for you. If you get pushed into a flame, or you'll take 1 damage and you'll drop any weapon that you have. Whereas if you push an opponent into the flame, they don't have weapons, but they will take 1 damage. So it's extra ways to use your environment against your opponent, as long as you have... Yeah, Legend of the Hidden Temple, thank you. I know, man. It's horrible. If you do, let's see, spikes are going to be 2 damage. So you especially want to try to get, like, for example, if this guy's here and this guy is here in the space with him, and I use a stagger, I can hit him, but I also get to make him stagger into that wall and take 2 damage. And he'll stay right there. But how many other things do you have to do? A lot of things. This is not even close to being finished. I hope you're talking about this, because it's not even close to being finished. I have quite a bit to do. Okay, so that is the idea of the battle room. The battle room always changes. It's always 3 by 3. Sorry, not 3 by 3 by 3. That'd be a cube. So it's always 3 by 3, but the walls change. So the retreat areas change. The dangers, the hazards of the walls change. Stuff like that. Let's see. So we've gone over the formation thing. We've gone over the bad guy. We've gone over basically the modular dungeon tiles. We've gone over, yep, these are all of the modular walls for the dungeon tiles. And then this is the player token. We've gone over DualShock, and this is just the white ones. So we've gone over the character. We've gone over the battle room now. So now you guys have seen everything in the game except for how to actually fight, which I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to fight in this game real quick. Let me just move some things over, and I'll angle my camera down, collect all my papers. It's actually not really complicated. It's incredibly simple. It's just a lot of things to do, to think about. Now, you have to realize, guys, this is a dungeon crawler. It's not just hey, let's play a 20-minute game. This is a, hey, let's spend some time playing this game. Let's play. Whoops. Let's play this game for an hour and a half, and then come back to it. Okay, so I think what I need to do, I can take out these dice here. Use this. Uh-oh. This is facing the wrong direction. Ah, failure. Failure's sweet. Did you see that? That was beautiful. Yay! Okay, so these are our basic ones. These ones can go away. We gotta put blue in first. Blue in first. And I'll show you how you level up and stuff like that, because there's a whole system of leveling up in here. Red next. Skilling up, essentially, because what you're doing is you're just getting yourself access to new moves. which I think I've showed some people. I've showed the stream this before because this was a project I was working on for a while. Is it easy? There's a difference between easy and simple. It is easy, yes. It's definitely... no, I'm sorry. It's not easy. The game is going to be difficult itself, but it will... Ah, crap, I did it backwards again. Why do I keep doing that? Anyway, we'll just pretend. Oh no, I can't pretend. Shit. Can I go... No, that won't do anything. Oh, you know what? Silly me. The obvious decision instead of the hard decision. Okay. Luckily, these dice will be bigger, and they will be squarer. So right now they're all rounded sides. Okay, and they'll have more weight to them. Let me see if I can... Critical fail! Dice are meant for spilling. Roll for initiative, monkey boy. Ah! Okay, let's see. I'm going to see if I can zoom in here. Not quick capture. That is not what I meant. Cancel that. I want to... webcam controller. There we go. Let's zoom this bad boy in. Zoom! Alright, now I don't expect you guys to be able to see this perfectly. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you first thing that we want to do. You know what? Let's do a little piece of desktop here. And let's minimize these and bring up the... Yeah, right here. Okay, so what's going to be kind of hard for you guys to see? Let's see, where's my functioning area? Over here. Okay, I'll roll over here. So it's going to be kind of hard for you guys to see, and I understand that. Alright, so this might work. You might be able to see this. So, for example, these are the 10 abilities that I have access to right now with just the white dice. So I'm going to go ahead and roll. And it looks like I got one miss, which really sucks because miss is one of the sides. I have 2 stars. I've got a jump. I've got a block. I've got 3 punches and a kick. Okay, and I know you guys can't see this, and not all the colors are cohesive and stuff like that, but the idea right now is that the miss doesn't do anything. That kind of sits off to the side. That was a wasted roll. Shit, that sucks. I've got a jump, a kick, 3 punches, a block, and 2 stars. These 2 stars mean I can use them as anything that I want. So if I wanted to, I could use them as a triple block here, because if we go down here, you can see that triple block is Stone Guard. Stone Guard will block any one attack from an enemy. As long as I have this, I won't take damage from them the next time they try to attack me. So if I realize that it's not going to target me and I don't need it, I'll probably just keep the 1 block so I can block 1 point of damage as opposed to an entire attack. So if the entire attack is like 6 points of damage, I could just block the whole thing with 3 of these. But if I only have 1 block, I'm only going to block 1 point, I'm going to take 5 damage. So in case something happens, you know, that's fine, I'll just keep the block there. And if we look on top of here, on top of these dice, remember the yellow dice share 3 of the sides that the white dice have. So that means that I'm looking at punch, block, block, fake, kick, kick, fake, kick, and punch. I got really lucky with this randomized setup here. I've got a lot of, only 2 of them right here are ones that I don't have access to with here, and those are the fakes. But in order to get those fakes, I can either use 2 stars, or I can use more yellows once I get the yellows. So the way this works, first of all, I've got the triple punch, I've got a jump kick, and I'll keep a block off to the side, and then I've got star, star. I'm actually going to go ahead and do a jump kick, so if you look right here, flying kick is jump kick, it'll be 2 damage and a gap closer. Do I need a gap closer? If I don't, I can kind of ignore the jump for this round. If I need 2 gap closers, I can do a jump kick, which won't connect, and then a jump punch, which will connect, and then have a punch punch later, or maybe even a punch punch, jump punch punch for a triple gap closer, because these stars can be used as anything. So depending on how I really want to play it, but remember you can only use each of these abilities once, because you're actually going to put your dice down on these cards, denoting the fact that you're using one of these areas. Okay? So I'm going to go with Punch, 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 which is, if we look up here, a flurry, which is 4 damage. So I'm going to try to deal some 4 damage. I'm also going to do a jump kick first to get close. And if we go down, jump kick is a flying kick. It's 2 damage and a gap closer. So I'm going to deal 2 damage to him as I gap close, and then I'm going to do a punch, punch, punch to him, which is really good. And then I'm going to use these 2 stars here to train. So this is where your training portion comes into play. So these are going to be my damage. These are kind of ignored, and these right here I'm going to then put over here and say I've used those this turn to buy a fake. Now the thing is, you didn't buy a fake, but I've used 2 stars as fakes to purchase this fake. Now that I've purchased this, this goes in a pool over here, and I don't get this until the next fight. So whatever I'm fighting has to die, and I have to move on to the next encounter. And once I do, like let's say, you know, I roll again. I've got 1, 2, 3 misses. That was a really shitty roll for me. I've got 2 stars again, though. I've got 2 jumps and 2 punches. Now, this is what I was talking about. You can only use each move once. So Flying Fist up here is a jump punch. I have jump punch and jump punch twice, but I cannot use both of them. I can only use jump punch once. So if I want to, I could do a punch over, take a punch there and take a punch there, and use this as a punch and this as a kick. And now I'm using 2 punches in order to get a punch off the top of this stack. And then I've purchased that. It goes into my waiting pool, my training pool, until next game. Next encounter. So I've dealt damage with a jump kick and damage with a jump punch with the double gap closer, and then my punch punch was used to purchase these over here. And the guy's still not dead, so we're going to go ahead and fight one more time. And it looks like I've got 2 blocks, I've got 3 kicks, I've got a star, and 3 punches. I think I'm going to take a kick this time, and I will do a kick here with the star. I'll spend 2 kicks over here, so spend those go away, and I'm going to purchase a kick die. And then I'm going to do another punch, 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 and then I'm going to keep 2 blocks up just in case I take some damage. So in this instance now, the guy dies, right? The 3rd attack, the guy dies, and then on my next fight, our next encounter, I get to add those 3 yellow dice, which means I am more likely to be able to purchase some of these top ones because I'll have more dice, and I'll have these right here. Now the interesting thing is, I haven't designed them yet, but I'll have some yellow abilities as well. Yellow mixed with white. So for example, what do I have here? I have elbow, I have a knee. Those are the 2 new abilities. Wait, I have one more. Elbow, knee, and whoops, that's a yellow, and a fake. So a fake will do something. It'll be like a status effect, which will allow me, if let's say I do a fake punch punch, right? So a yellow with 2 whites. This would have to be switched to a fake. There we go. So I'll do fake punch punch. And when I do a fake punch punch, it will ignore a block token if he would use a block token. So it's completely up to me how I interchange these guys based on the list that I have. And you're going to end up having quite a large assortment of options that you get to do. But the cool thing is that you get to design your fight. You get to decide what you do, when you do it, and how you do it. You can't do one thing more than once. You can't do an ability more than once. But essentially, on the next one, you'll go ahead and level up again. I've got 4 stars here, which is pretty awesome. I've got a kick, a knee, a fake. I've got a block. I've got jump, I've got an elbow, and I've got a punch. So that's a pretty big assortment of things. And depending on what my list is, you know, once I start mixing in yellows into here, having yellow abilities as well, I'll start increasing my damage a little bit. Probably not too much in the yellow, but once I get to the red tier down here, I'll really increase damage. Once you get to blue, that's where you start being able to do some really big combos. So let's say I purchase all the yellow, or let's say I don't purchase all the yellows. Let's say I take, since I can see down to red over on this side, I'll rotate this around here. So I can see down to the red dice now. And I'm going to have a rule to where if you haven't completed all the yellows, you can only own up to 3 red dice. So for example, I might actually buy a red die here and a red die here and waste my attack. It could have been a really big attack. I could have killed him in one turn, but I actually want to train while I'm fighting a little bit. So I'm gonna take away these for this turn and buy 1, 2 red dice, and these are gonna go into my pool. Oops, sorry, you can't see what I'm doing over here. Sorry. These are gonna go into my pool for the next fight that I come through. I might make it the next room that you go to, so that you have to go through an entire room fighting with white, and then you go through an entire room fighting with white and yellow, then you go through an entire room fighting with white, yellow, and red, etc. But now you see I have access to blue. I can only get 1 blue if I want to, and I still don't know if I want to be able to do that yet. I have to really figure out the balance of the game. So eventually, you know, you'll be rolling with a whole bunch of dice. You roll them in sections or whatever, but you roll a bunch of dice, and then you organize them real quick. You get, okay, stars here, kicks here. Let's see, I've got a roll, I've got another roll, so that's pretty sweet. I've got miss, so that's a shitty die. I've got punch, I've got 2 blocks, 3 blocks, 2 kicks, a fake, and a knee. So this is what I'm working with right here. Now I get to go through all of my moves and decide what I want to do. Some people are going to be overwhelmed by this, but the people who really like to decide how they play their game, not I'm going to use this card. It's I'm going to use these moves. I'm going to choose to use these in this combination in order to move myself around the board. Maybe I want to use like an ability that staggers them out of the square that I'm in. And then I want to use a leaping ability to catch up to him. And then I want to use another stagger ability. Then I want to use another leaping move. Then I want to use another stagger ability so I hit him into a wall. And then it deals the last point of damage. I get to decide exactly how I fight using this system. So that's what the fighting and training system is going to be like. As far as rate of gaining training, I might make it 3-to-1. I might not make it 2-to-1, so that way you really have to decide, and you really have to roll well. If you're not rolling well with, like, let's say just the white ones. Let's just grab the white ones for a second, and let's see how often out of 10 rolls, how often do I get a triple match. Okay, let's see. I've got kick, 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 kick. Wow, that was 5 kicks. 2 jumps, a block, and a miss. So, hey, look, there we go. I'm going to use this triple kick to go ahead and purchase something. And maybe a 4-to-1 ratio is you can purchase anything. You don't have to wait for a 2, meaning like if I trade in 2 kicks to buy a kick off the top. Obviously, you're not just buying the kick, you're buying the whole die, but that's the idea of it, is I'm trading in 2 kicks to buff up on my kick, right? But maybe there's a 4-to-1 ratio that allows me to get any one. Maybe there's a 6-to-1 ratio if you get lucky enough to roll it, where you can purchase 2 or something like that. I'm not really sure exactly. So that was one roll. At 1 out of 10, I got a triple. Let's see. Kick, kick, miss, miss, miss. Those can't be traded in. Block, block, punch, jump. Not a triple. All right, so that's 2. So that's 1 out of 2. We got punch, punch, punch. We got miss, miss, and then since I have a star here, I could potentially have kick, 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 and punch, punch, punch. So let's count that as, well, let's just, at least I got 1. So it's 2 out of 3. Seems pretty good ratio so far. And this is what I do to playtest sometimes. We've got block, block, block. We've got punch, punch, punch. There we go. So 3 to 1. Seems actually pretty easy. 2 to 1, you know, using 2 to purchase 1 off the top is actually pretty good. But if I want to slow down the pace of the game, I could do a 3 to 1, because that's 3 out of 4 now that I've rolled triples. Punch, punch, punch. I don't even have to do the rest. That's sorry, 4 out of 5. Let's see. I've got kick, kick, kick. That's, yeah, so triple is actually seeming pretty strong. Like it's definitely possible. So maybe I just change it from double to triple. Let's see. Yep, I got triple star. I've got double block. I'm sorry, triple block, double punch. And as you do this a bunch of times, I know it seems like a lot of dice, but and thus games have reached a pinnacle. No nerd could heft the sheer number of dice required to play their favorite games anymore. This was the trumpet call to invention. Hence, the computer age was born, and much born to much chagrin of the RNG gods. You know what, though? Like, look at this. If I'm fully... Look how powerful you feel. I feel pretty strong here. Right? If I have all these dice, I get to roll all of these dice. I am a monster. And you're like, yeah, I'm gonna wreck you. But these guys are gonna be, you know, when you're at this point right here, rolling 27 dice. Actually, it's 27 plus 9, isn't it? Wait. I love this. And then you just, bam, and you go, okay, what do we got here? And then you start organizing, right? You get them into this pile and you start going, all right, dude, I can help you out because I've got a block. Let's get all my blocks in order here. Whoops, that was a block. I've got a shit ton of blocks. I can block 3 of your attacks. But you realize that you're just going to be running into really, really hard guys. It's not going to be oozes the whole time. You know, you're going to run into guys that are going to require this. You're rolling some misses still. Wow, that really sucks, rolling misses. Wow, 3 misses? That is horrible. Yes, dear. Hi. Can I help you? What do you want? I think I do know what you want. I have to stop talking so loud. Sorry, guys. That's not what you want, is it? It's only $8.50. That can't be what you want. You want a kiss. Uh-oh. Girlfriend aggro. Be right back. Where's my be right back screen? Alright. Alright, and we're back. Girlfriend aggro. Good. Okay, so... Oh, this is all weird now. That's what I get, I suppose. Oh yeah, I'm zoomed in. That's what's going on. Where's that thing? There you go. That's good. Okay, so I'd like to actually ask everybody who thinks that they would play this game. I know that it's hard to see what it's actually like right now, but if this kind of thing appeals to you, if you would take the time to play a long mission-based game like this. Why? This is not the right die container. That would be why. It's not. Oh, shit. Losing dice here. Lost my marbles. Yep, I'd play it. I would totally play this game, not just because I built it, but I think I built it because I like this kind of thing anyway, so I think it goes without saying that I'd play a game like this. I get excited for things like this. I want more games to be like this. I think that right now, games are too simple. I'm kind of getting bored of the simple game. I want the game that wrecks my mind, that makes me have to hang out with friends more than once to get it done. The thing is, though, I don't want to play shitty games like Axis and Allies because they're boring themes to me. And it's not really a shitty game, but you're a badass. You're the Mikey of games. Hey, Mikey, he likes it. He really likes it. But yeah, my point is that I don't want to play Risk. I don't want to play I don't want to play Axis and Allies. I want to play games that are going to be difficult and arduous and but fun. And you know, it takes a while to get good at them, and you can make bad decisions. It is in your genre of love category? Very nice. Okay, good. Then I'm doing something right. Sort of. The worst Zug-Swang of all time. Zug-Swang? I'm not super familiar with that. Anyway. So I think I'm going to go back to